I'm Samantha. I'm the writer-director.
I'm Michelle. I'm producer.
I'm Erica. I'm one of the actors.
Well, I want to thank you so much for the film. I think it's a wonderful film. I like so much about it. And I know we'll tend to really discuss the content a lot, but as a writer-director, I wanted to compliment you purely as a filmmaker. I think the dialogue is great, the storytelling is great. Your direction, for an independent film was spot on. So technically great filmmaking.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so
great
much.
filmmaking, because I know it's when things are groundbreaking, it's really easy just to talk about the subjects you tackled. But it was really good filmmaking while tackling a subject.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, so please let us know the inspiration behind it.
It's a pretty honest story. The inspiration of it is I grew up in a small town in southern Ohio, and I started personally coming out as transgender to certain people in my life a couple of years before I moved away, and so the story turned into just sort of recounting of kind of what it's like to begin to do that in a town where you don't really feel like you have a voice or many people that you can relate to, and how that town can influence your self-image and thus the way that your relationships with other people tend to go. It started out much like the writer-directors of Forget-Me-Nots. It was originally supposed to be kind of comedic and lighthearted. It was going to be a little bit kind of goofy, and then I had a conversation with a director friend of mine, and I was talking about these moments in the car when the two characters are in the car, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of trying to build up to this, like that's the big dramatic moment that I want to lead into, and he kind of gave me the idea. He was like, because I was struggling with the structure and how I wanted to get there, and he was like, well, maybe instead of building up to that, that's kind of the spine of your story, and maybe that kind of becomes what everything else sort of plays off of. So then I started to structure it the way that it was, and it turned into a much more real, kind of emotional, honest sort of story.
Yeah, very honest and genuine, and I really actually, the broken timeline is done so well in this one. Sometimes, when you watch 600 films getting ready for a festival, you see a lot of crappy broken timelines. So a broken timeline that works because it's emotionally effective of what you reveal when. Great.
Awesome. Thank you.
And when did your producer and when did you start casting? Like, how did you get this wonderful team together?
So Michelle and I know each other from film school. We went to Ohio University together. I'll let her explain the casting process.
So after we got the script how we wanted it to, Sam actually knew Erica. She knew Debbie, and kind of wrote the part for Debbie to play Alyssa. And then she had originally wanted someone else to play Arlana, who was actually a man. But then that fell through, and we just loved the idea of casting someone who was transgender. And that's when I went on backstage, and we were just researching, and we found Erica.
Who was perfect. And what did you think when you first saw the script?
I was really enamored by it. It was such a powerful, it's such a powerful story, and so just to be, reached out to and just, be able to read the script and be like, wow, this is such a beautiful story, and that they were asking me to be able to portray this. I was like, wow, I was honored. Yeah, in the shortest sense, just very honored.
Wonderful. Wonderful how it came together.
Yeah, I think we found a handful of actors. Michelle sent me some people on backstage, and so I reached out and had people send in self-tapes, and as soon as I watched Erica's, I was like, yeah, that's Lana.
And your Alyssa, who isn't here, she let her know she's wonderful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's although it's jokingly, it's like a performance. She's just an angel of a character. Really, was such a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Nice. It was such a nice twist that all the insecurities that the lead character was feeling, almost none of it came from her partner, which I appreciated. Thought it was a nice change.
Yeah, and that was certainly very deliberate. A lot of our self-image is kind of like just what we tell ourselves and what we convince ourselves, and that can lead us to believing whatever the hell about how other people are perceiving us. So certainly intentional.
All right, let me open it up to this audience who has a question. There we go.
Yeah, it was a really emotional, moving piece. The one thing that I really liked was that one longer shot where Lana was talking to herself, psyching herself up to divulge, and you went out and came back, and was that like the most difficult shot in the movie? Because it seemed like it was well executed.
I would say it was. Yeah, we probably did 14 or 15 takes of that entire sequence, and fortunately, the way our schedule was built out, we had plenty of time to do that. Well, we had time to do that. You never have plenty of time. But yeah, I mean, it's such a long. That one take, I think, ends up being probably around 2 minutes, and we actually do hide a cut in there. I mean, it's not hidden, but when Lana first gets up off the bed, we put a cut in there just to break it up a tiny bit. But yeah, we would run into things where you would see the boom in that mirror, and it's like you're on that mirror for so long, and it'd be a perfect performance, and then it dips, and you're like, damn it! Or, like when Lana tosses the ball out into the hallway, there were a couple times it would like hit the door frame and bounce back, so the camera couldn't follow it, and I was like, if we can't follow it, we can't send the camera into the living room. So there were a number of different things that kind of, made us have to reset, but we did it. We pulled it off. We found one that pretty well worked all the way through. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go.
What was the idea behind the title?
The title. So in the film, in the bedroom scene where Alyssa is doing Lana's makeup, they exchange "I love you," and Alyssa says "How much," and Lana says "To the moon and back." So that is kind of like their sort of cadence, like "I love you to the moon and back," people say to each other sometimes. So kind of symbolic with Lana breaking off the relationship with Alyssa. That just kind of dawned on me.
Yeah, she's giving it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving up that love.
Yeah.
Someone's hand was up earlier. There, sorry.
Mine's less of a question, but I was really impressed with the relationship, because I feel like so often when they do movies about a breakup, any type of relationship, it's very easy to make one person more antagonistic. And this showed both sides of it so well. It just felt very real and tangible, and I feel like you rarely see one where you're like, I get what both of these people are saying. It's so complicated.
Awesome.
And you feel for everything. It was very good.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we were going for. We wanted something so real and raw that you could relate to both sides, and there didn't have to be an antagonist.
Yeah, and that means a lot to hear, because there were times in post where I'd be sitting with our editor Ryan, and I'd be like, now does that take make her seem like too much of a dick? Like, do we lose the audience with her there? And it really was like kind of a high wire act of trying to make both of them seem sympathetic and reasonable and likable enough that it like you could side with either of them, or really there is no side to take. It just kind of is what happened.
Yeah.
I love the scene where she took the coffee and she said, Lana's not going to need this. And wondering if she was already exploring with Lana, and that was, but then not ready to come out.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really powerful.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you caught that. Because, in the dialogue you find out that their sort of meeting there at the coffee shop was unintentional and unplanned. So it definitely is the character kind of exploring, this new side of herself, and then having to hide it when her partner shows up unexpectedly.
Yeah, I should have.
I mean, going off the script, I think it was so original and great, but it was also very, at the same time, dialogue heavy, which is a good thing. But what was, like, how would you tackle such a dialogue heavy piece as a writer? How did you guys go about that? It flowed so well.
Yeah, tons of drafts. I mean, just tons and tons of drafts. I think the shooting draft of the script was probably the 9th revision, and that was after I had decided it was no longer going to be funny and lighthearted. So lots of drafts, lots of feedback, sharing with Michelle, sharing with the talent. We did, I think, 3 table reads leading up.
something along those lines.
With myself
Yeah.
and Erica and Debbie, who played Alyssa, where we would work through some things and make sure it all felt and sounded natural. So a lot of pre-planning and just taking a lot of honest feedback from Michelle and our executive producer Daniel, who had a lot to say on the script and was a really, really amazing resource to have, both practically and creatively. And then some things that got left on the cutting room floor.
And yeah.
Good job. I really liked it, and I liked the writing. The writing was really good, and the performances were good. And when I first saw it as a tightrope high wire act that you said, because so much of it, not that it could have gone wrong. None of it's wrong. It's a feat to make a film, but it could. I don't know. A lot of things were they were executed in a way that that I didn't go off. I can't explain it other than like everything's hyper realistic in the whole film. And there's a shot of her crying, and it's not hyper realistic; it's hyper stylized. But it wasn't over the top. It still maintained this which is really difficult, and it was done the entire way through realistically and stylistically. And I guess I don't have a question other than were you like aware of that? Can you talk more about that high wire act? Were you like afraid that there might be too much this, too much that, too much this,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
that type of stuff? And how did you get it to a point where it wasn't?
Yeah, I definitely had to give myself pause a few times because it's kind of ambitious to show the evolution of a relationship over what could be months or even years in like a 15-20 minute period. And so my solution to that was to be stylistic. So the flashback scenes are graded slightly differently. They're these flowing oneers where there aren't a little cuts, so there's like a different energy to them, whereas the car scenes are more choppy and sort of dramatic. So all of that was deliberate. And if we're talking about the same shot, it's kind of the close-up after Alyssa walks away
Outside
from
the car.
Yeah, I wanted to do a close-up shot on a really wide lens, so that we would have the camera close to her face, but you could kind of see a lot of the landscape behind her, just to give this sense of like, now at this point, like, she is alone, like this decision is final, and we're kind of sharing that headspace with her in that moment. So I just trusted my instincts on those things, and I think for the most part it worked out, but I definitely was always in the back of my mind like, God, I hope this works, because it definitely was daunting to try to fit that much into a short film.
Erica, as a trans actress, is it hard to play a man to have that role as a man emotionally?
That's a great question, actually. For me, being an actor and wanting to be able to like go places with whoever I'm portraying, it's for me personally, it actually wasn't too challenging because I actually had been in a non-speaking short film a year before where I was mostly playing the man pre-transition or pre-transition. But I do know for a lot of trans actors and actresses, they would not be comfortable with that. So I certainly understand that it's not necessarily for the faint of heart, but I also, for me, I want to be committed as an actress to telling a story and being able to show it, even if it's uncomfortable. And for me, there were certain points where it was like, oh, well, I had to like get used to like talking in a lower voice, but I understood where it was coming from and what the message was behind it. So it wasn't like feeling like I was, being told to, pretend to be something I wasn't. So that was nice.
I really enjoyed the way that it was edited and put together, and I'm just curious if because I thought the transitions were really smart, from like coffee cups to coffee cups and the popping of the fingers. Was that something that you wrote in the script that you wanted to keep connected, or that you found in the cutting room?
Those were things that were, for the most part, written into the script. There were a couple that probably slightly changed because we found things that just didn't quite work with the footage we had. But for the most part, those were written into the script. The finger popping definitely was. Just because I kind of knew as I was writing this story how I wanted to do these like prelapse and sort of let one part of the world bleed into another to show these transitions. So a lot of it was pre-planned.
Have you thought about adapting it into a feature.
Oh,
and
yeah,
behind
that's
scenes.
the ambition for sure. Yeah,
There's a lot more to the story.
for sure. Yeah.
And there was no chance they'd ever work it out. Because that last letter.
Someday you'll
I guess-
see.
I
Someday
guess
you'll
the
see.
title. I guess the title might give away, but yeah, I know in my heart, like, even though I'm seeing it for the second time, I'm thinking maybe because it's such a sweet moment when Alyssa asks, "Is this date? What date number?" And it's 1. Like that was,
Yeah.
it was hugs all around if you stopped there.
Yeah. I mean, never say never. If we ever get to do the feature, maybe it turns out a little different.
Do whatever you think is right.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm a romantic, so I want them together. Any more hands? Well, thank you so much
Thank
for the
you.
film.